Hi, this is my Quincy QT-54 air compressor. I'm going to be torquing the bottom head mounts to actually factory specifications. And the factory specifications are at 19 foot-pounds, 6 bolt heads, and I'm going to be using the crisscross sequence for torquing. I have my wrench set at 18 foot-pounds to be on the safer side. I'd rather under torque it a hair than over torque it and stretch the threads. So what I'm going to do, I'll just give you a quick example. I won't go be every head. I won't be going through every single head here, head bolt, but I'll give you an idea what's going on. So that's what you want to hear on each one. And then the other sequence would be going to this bolt here, and then I'd be going back and forth as seen here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to one of these outer ones here, only because it's kind of hard to hold the camera and do this at the same time, or I should say my phone. And this is set at 18, and let's see where we're at. You can see the handle's moving. Hasn't clicked yet. Has not clicked yet. Let's see, nothing yet. There we go. So that's an example of what I want to share with you. That was off. And then let me see if I can get into this one really quick. Okay, I'm gonna go to the center. Again, I know I'm out of sequence, but I'm just showing you because they're easier to get to while I'm holding this phone. And let's see how long it takes for this to ratchet in. So here we go. Let's see if this one's on the money. I'm moving the handle. Nothing yet. Nothing. No click. No click. There we go. I got the click. So now if I do it again, that's what you want to hear. So that obviously tells you that the bolt sequence torquing is off. I'm a little puzzled myself. I noticed they use grade 8 bolts on top of the head, but they didn't use grade 8 bolts here on the bottom. And I could tell by the markings. Grade 8 has a different marking than the ones that are at the bottom. Maybe they try to cut some corners, save some money on production. I'm not sure. But myself, I would have used grade 8 bolts on everything. Just play it safe. I actually don't like these bolts because they're a little softer. And I noticed when I put on the torque wrench, they just seem a little softer. I don't care for them. I don't know why they cut those corners. And then I noticed on another video that someone had a Quincy air compressor, and the factory told them because they don't run it hard, they don't run it all the time, that's why they blew a head gasket. I think that's nonsense. I'll tell you why. Because if you have heads or anything that's not correctly torqued, what's going to happen, like your exhaust manifold on your automobile or something like that, air is going to find, or pressure is going to find the least resistance. So in saying that air is going to push its way through the least resistance on the gasket and the surface of the metal, and what that's going to do is create a hot spot and blow out your section of gasket. Now, I've experienced this in other machines, cars, automobiles, planes, whatever you have. So that's an important role. Now, I also seen where things have machined perfect, and they don't even use head gaskets because the tolerances are so tight. So keep in mind, I would go back on any compressor that you get and retorque all the bolt heads and things like that to the factory specs. Don't do it when the machine's hot. Don't do it when it's real cold, because that will change. And the more adapters you put on your torque wrench, that will also change it. So to give you an idea of what I use, I'm going to hold it up in front of the camera here. I have this little adapter that I bought probably about 25 years ago from Mac. And then I'm using that on my torque wrench because that's the only way I can get into these tight spots. Make sure the jam nut is locked tight. I have that at foot-pounds, so let's go back to foot-pounds. You can see clearly here. It's about 18 foot-pounds. And you know, I know that this is not, it may not be perfect, but I also know that a factory that's assembling and tightening and using torque specifications all the time, their torque wrenches will get out of specifications, I should say. So you need to have your tools recalibrated on a regular basis. Otherwise, you really don't know what you're torquing something at. So this head gasket, I'm glad I caught it at 1.8 hours. If I would have let this run, it could have developed a little pinhole leak and then burn the gasket, and then I'll have exhaust leaks, and then what that causes is I'm not getting the performance I need. And then I'm gonna have my compressor cycling when it shouldn't cycle because now it's saying I'm low on air pressure or the volume's not there. I'm gonna go ahead and cycle on to keep the tank at a certain pressure. So it's kind of a, you know, you just gotta keep your eye on this kind of stuff. You know, I think manufacturers today, they really need to have someone who's, you know, checking this kind of stuff out before it goes out to the public. You know, in real life, these head bolts and all this stuff should have a mark on it saying someone went behind it and made sure everything was to, you know, factory specifications. Because what happens here is you're going to start setting a bad name for yourself, a bad name for your company, because you don't have good quality control, you know, and that's not right. Pay for someone, take the time, and have someone going after the stuff behind other people and make sure it's right. Put your signature on it and say you're proud. You know, I'm proud to work for this company. I'm proud that I can put my name behind this product because I know it's made here in America. It's made in the great USA. You know, don't start getting sloppy. You know, quit cutting corners. Do the job right. You know, that's the bottom line. Do the job right before you sell it to, you know, to the public. You know, this, you know, we got to work hard for this kind of stuff. This stuff is expensive, you know. I know, you know, it took me a while to save up to get this air compressor. It's a good quality air compressor, but I think the quality control is kind of going downhill, you know, with a lot of equipment these days. And a lot of manufacturers trying to cut corners to be competitive. But anyway, if you like this video, hit like. And I hoped I helped you out a little bit here. And thank you. Have a great day.